Hari Om, Bhagavad Gita, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, chapter 18, verse 66. Continuation. We have seen the wonderful explanation of Swami Dayananda Saraswati for this verse. The self is always free, but because of our ignorance, we think we are bound. How to remove this ignorance? This ignorance can be removed only by knowledge. Once we realize that I am the self, then the ignorance goes. We are released from all the powers because the self is always pure, and I have realized I am the self. So this is what I understand from whatever Swami Dayananda Saraswati said, simply put. Now we will see the explanation of Swami Chinmayananda ji for this verse. Verse 66. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja agam tva sarva pabebhyah mokshayishyami ma shuchaham. Swami Chinmayananda says, this is the noblest of all the verses in the divine song Bhagavad Gita. And it is the most controversial verse. There are many interpretations for this verse by many gurus, acharyas and others. Each one sticking to their point of view. Everyone says, my point of view is the correct point of view. Sri Ramanuja says, this is the final verse, Charama Sloka, for the whole Gita. Total surrender to Bhagwan Krishna. Swami Chinmayananda says, the term dharma is the heart of Hindu culture. That is why the religion of India is called Sanatana Dharma. The term dharma, it has got different shades of meaning. Dharma is used in our scriptures in the sense as the law of being. The law of the being. That because of which a thing continues to be that thing itself, without which the thing cannot continue to be that thing, is the dharma of the thing. I have to repeat again. There are examples, but that because of which a thing continues to be the thing, without which the thing cannot continue to be that thing, is the dharma of the thing. For example, heat is the dharma of fire. There cannot be fire without heat. Sweet is the dharma of sugar. There cannot be a sugar crystal without sweet. There cannot be, it is impossible. Every object in this world has got two types of properties. One is essential and the other is non-essential. A substance can remain itself intact when its non-essential properties are absent. But it cannot remain ever for a split moment without its essential property. For example, take fire. The color of the flame, it could be blue, it could be red, it could be yellow. The color of the flame, the length and width of the flame, size of the flame. It may be big, small, fat. They are all the non-essential properties of fire. But the essential property of fire is heat. This essential property of a substance is called its dharma. Now the question is, what exactly is the dharma of man? Is it the color of the skin? Is it the race to which he belongs? Is it the mindset, the capacity, the body? They are all the non-essential properties in the human personality. The essential property of man is the touch of life, the divine consciousness. That is the essential property. So, if you, without the Atman, man cannot exist even for a second. Next minute, you will put your right hand on your left chest. Gone. So, essential property. Now you remember that thing. A thing continues to be that thing, without which the thing cannot continue to be that thing, is the dharma of the thing. So, if divine presence of divine consciousness is not there, then man cannot survive even for a second. It is truth, which is the basis of existence. Therefore, according to Swami Chinmayananda, the essential dharma of man is the divine spark of existence, the infinite Lord. Swami Chinmayananda says, with this understanding of the term dharma, we have to understand this verse. We have to appreciate the difference from mere moral and ethical rules of conduct, all duties of life, all duties towards relations, friends, community, nation, and the world, all our obligations towards our environment, our affections, reverence, charity, sense of goodwill, etc. All that have been considered as our dharma in our books. We have to know the difference between dharma and what has been stated in our books. In and through such actions, physical, mental, and intellectual, a man will bring forth the expression of his true dharma, his divine status as the all pervading self. To live truly as the Atman and to express its infinite perfection through all our actions and in all our contacts with the outer world is to rediscover our dharma. Swami Chinmayananda says there are a few verses in the Gita wherein Bhagwan Krishna has almost commanded us to live a certain way of life. We have seen that. He has promised that if we obey his instructions, he will directly take the responsibility of guiding us towards his own being. But nowhere in Gita, Bhagwan Krishna so directly and openly expressed his divine willingness to undertake the service of his devotee as in this verse. Bhagwan Krishna wants the seeker to accomplish three distinct adjustments in his personality. One, renounce all dharmas through meditation. Two, surrender to me alone while in the state of meditation. Three, stop all worries, do not grieve. What is the result? Bhagwan Krishna promises a reward. I shall release you from all sins. This is a promise to all the mankind by Bhagwan Krishna. Gita is not only for Hindus, it is a universal scripture. Sarva dharman parityajya. Now Swamiji is explaining each and every word. Sarva dharman parityajya. Abandoning all dharmas. We have already seen dharma means the law of being. Nothing can continue its existence when it is diverse from its dharma. But here Bhagavan Krishna says, come to me after renouncing all dharmas. Will it mean that after death you have to go? Because your essential nature is your divine spark in yourself. So will that mean that only after death you can go? There seems to be some contradiction. Because we already said dharma is a law of the being. Swami Chinmayananda says, renouncing all dharmas means renouncing your ego. As a mortal, finite ego, the seeker is identifying with this body, mind, and intellect. He exists in life as a mere perceiver, feeler, and thinker. This personality in us is the individuality which expresses itself as ego. These are our non-essential dharmas, non-essential properties. Hence, Bhagavan says, renounce your ego first. Ego must go. Swami Chinmayananda says, to renounce therefore means not to allow ourselves to fall again and again into the state of identification with the outer developments of matter around us. Ego, body, mind, and intellect. Extrovert tendencies of the mind are to be renounced. Swamiji says, develop introspection diligently. It is a deep suggestion in the phrase, renounce all dharmas. Mam ekam sharanam raja. Come to me alone. Self withdrawal from our extrovert nature will be impossible unless the mind is given a positive method of developing its introvert attention. Why? Mind cannot stand alone. A waking mind always holds on to some thought, good or bad, mostly bad, but definitely it needs a prop to stand. If you are awake, 100% it is there. One can successfully accomplish total withdrawal from the misinterpreting equipments of the body, mind, and intellect by single pointed, steady contemplation upon me, that is the self, which is the one without a second. Swami Chinmayananda says, philosophers in India never satisfied with a negative approach. They are always positive in their approach. There are more do's in Hindu philosophy than don'ts. Bhagwan Krishna demonstrates this practical approach by saying, come to me alone, whereby you can accomplish the renunciation of all false identifications. Now, ma shuchaha, that is, do not grieve. Sarva dharman parityajya, mamegam sharanam vraja, agam tva sarva bhavebhyaha, moksha ishyami ma shuchaha. Ma shuchaha, do not grieve. Swami Chinmayananda says, even a desire to realize the self is a disturbing thought that can obstruct the final achievement. Hence, Bhagavan Krishna wants the seeker to renounce all his anxieties to realize. When the two conditions are satisfied, first two conditions, abandoning all dharmas, first, that is ego, surrendering to Bhagavan alone, if both the conditions are fulfilled, the seeker reaches a state of growing tranquility of the mind during meditation. Your mind becomes calm, extremely calm. But it may become a waste if the subjective peace of the mind, created after so much labor, it gets disturbed due to anxiety to reach divine consciousness. Oh, I have not reached that state. I have not reached that state. I am doing it for a long time. From childhood onwards I am doing, but I have not reached the state. During meditation, when the mind is persuaded away from its outer world and brought again and again to contemplate on the self, the anxiety to realize should not be there. Hence, Bhagavan says, do not grieve. You will gain it. Wait. Patiently you wait. Continue to do your meditation. I will take care of it. I shall release you from all the sins. What is sin? Swami Chinmayananda says, that which brings about agitations in the mind and thereby causes dissipation of energies. That is called sin. No action in this world can be undertaken without bringing our mind and intellect into it. Any action carried out will leave its footprint upon the mind. These footprints channelize our thoughts and shape the psychological personality. So the footprints, your thoughts, get it. It is written on your mind. Then that thought flow decides the personality of that person. These footprints of the mind are called vasanas. Vasanas can be either good or bad. Actually, good vasanas bring good thoughts, and bad vasanas, bad thoughts. As long as thoughts are flowing, mind survives. To erase all vasanas means to completely stop all the thoughts. That is, total cessation of thought flow, mind. Transcending the mind intellect equipment is to reach the plane of pure consciousness. That is the Krishna reality. As a seeker renounces more and more of his identification with his outer equipments through a process of steady contemplation and meditation upon the Lord of his heart. It could be Krishna, it could be Rama, it could be any God. Then he grows in his vision. In that vision, he exhausts his vasanas. Bhagavan says, I shall release you from sins, meaning, I will release you from all the disturbing, thought gurgling, action prompting, desire breeding, agitation brewing vasanas. All vasanas, all agitations will go. I shall release you from all the sins. Moksha Ishyami. Swami Chinmayananda says, this verse is one of the most powerfully worded verse in the Gita. In this verse, Bhagavan, the infinite, personally undertakes to do something helpful for the seeker, provided the seeker is ready to offer his ardent cooperation and put forth his best efforts. The seeker, all through the days of seeking, must keep a positive attitude. To despair and weep, to feel dejected and disappointed, is to invite restlessness of the mind. In that case, in spite of the best efforts, spiritual unfoldment is not possible. Swami Chinmayananda says, this verse is intended to inspire confidence in the devotee or the seeker that divine will help in the path to realize him, capital H, capital I, capital M. Bhagwan Krishna. Again, verse 66. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja agam tva sarva bhavebhyaham mokshayishyami ma shuchaham. We will see some more interpretations tomorrow. Harihom Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Narayana 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 Narayana